Hey YouTube, I just wanted to stop for a minute here and take a little bit to talk about safety. We're talking about putting in gas lines out here. This is propane, and it's a pressurized gas line, any kind of pressurized line. You got to talk about that being able to rupture. So you need to make sure you use the right kind of pipe. Okay, check your local codes, check your trade books, make sure you're using the right kind of pipe. Even if you're not governed by building codes, they're really a good place to start for figuring out what you should do. Yeah, sometimes a few of them are maybe overkill, but they're just trying to cover all their bases. And, you certainly don't want to completely ignore the recommendations and findings of a lot of really smart people that have been put together over decades of time. Okay? That's foolish to ignore it. Now, I think the codes, and they can be a little stringent sometimes, and that's part of why I moved out here to a place off-grid that didn't have the same building codes, and that's part of why I don't have a power line that runs to my house, is because the minute you've got yourself connected to a grid, you're governed by some of those rules just by default, just because you're connected to the power grid. So I'm completely off-grid in a non-regulated land. So I'm allowed to do things a little bit my own way. I can experiment. I can try new things. You need to make sure that you've got that same experience and know-how. Okay? So, one of the things we're going to do later is we're going to go ahead and plug and prepare our gas lines. We're going to go ahead and put some bags and tapes over the end so that debris and critters don't get in there. I don't want a dead bug crawling around and blowing around inside my gas line, right? Some other things, I don't want clogging something up because a little something got in there. So there's going to be a few things like that we'll do. Making sure you use the right kind of thread locking compound or sealing tape, Teflon tape, PTFE. Where I'm at, it's yellow, and that's approved for gas lines. In other places, it might be different if you're in another country. So make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you be careful, and make sure you at least look at manufacturers' recommendations, at trade recommendations, and state rules. Even if you're on a place that's not regulated, there's still state guidelines I have to follow. I have to have my septic a certain distance from the house. My propane tank has to be a certain distance from the house, things like that. And those things are there for a good reason. So we'll be talking some more about safety as we go, but I just want to take a few minutes here and talk about this. My dad was a journeyman plumber and a master carpenter, and I'm probably an apprentice plumber and journeyman carpenter, just on hours equivalent. So I do know what I'm doing here. Take it easy, YouTube, and be safe.